situation, the pricing.
Right.
That's never,
That's a select board.
Yeah.
right,
And I haven't heard a thing about that meeting.
no,
No. Okay,
Whatever happened there is still.
behind closed doors.
yeah.
Okay, thank you for the recalc liaison update. Select board liaison update.
Oh. Who's that?
That would be Mark.
All right.
Mark isn't here.
No.
Eric-
And Karen. I could give some insight. I can't say that it's really the update. Nancy, Jean and I met with Mark last Thursday. And it was really just what's the next step? What's the timing? Kind of very informal discussion. And in that he shared that mostly he can't share anything. He's still working hard at seeing what can be done with the former Walgreens site. He said it's not for lack of trying. He said that at the April town meeting, it would be an update on what's going, but any kind of vote is indefinitely postponed. But he will be doing his best to update them with whatever he can share at that time. And please correct me if my scribbled notes aren't quite accurate here. He said that maybe possibly, depending on how things go, there might be a special town meeting in early September, and maybe possibly, depending on how things go, in a special election in early October, but it's totally up in the air. And he said that, if it doesn't look like it's going to happen, we may be back to square one of the feasibility study. So my concern in asking to meet with him was just to make sure we weren't going to miss the boat if we didn't have all of our ducks in a row for this April's meeting to prepare the town meeting for a vote. And I came away feeling very reassured, which he'd also already conveyed to Nancy a couple of times in email as well, that all that's going to happen there is an update. And so that's all I know. But again, I can't speak for the select board as liaison, but that's my insight. All right, Simon's Way Committee liaison.
So we met last week and we have the initial results of our survey. We had about 1,500 responses thus far. The survey is available until after town meeting. I think it closes at May 1st or the end of April. So encourage people to continue to respond to the survey if they haven't already. And it was a really good presentation by Jane Wellman. And at this point, it looks like more people so far are looking for recreation, some sort of recreation activity, or as well as open space. Those seem to be the most selected options at this point. She had things divided out by age group as well, and the biggest chunk of participation was in the 40 to 49-year-old range. So I think there's only two survey respondents who are 90 plus. So, but it is all age ranges. There was a lot of discussion about the survey. We also discussed the architect's feedback on additional options for Simon's Way. There are a number of different site displays, different ways that the area can be used for a variety of purposes. They're all available in the packet. They're all available online. We also reviewed our charge from the select board, and we actually voted on two things. There was good participation in the audience. And so some people were asking if we could not just limit ourselves to the 15 acres that were recently purchased by the town, but if we could expand it beyond to the larger area, town-owned land area. And so we voted 7-0 to approve that. And then we also voted, we also discussed changing, well, that would mean changing our charge from the original select board mission. And then we also discussed an RFI, and I'm sure you probably have seen the controversy about this, the request for information. Because one of the things that came up in the survey and one of the things that came up in the conversation with public participation was, how about if we explore some public private partnerships? And so again, there was a motion made about that. The discussion and next steps was on the agenda. I am not clear why the votes are now going to be proposed to be nullified because it was on our agenda. I've got the agenda right here. Just like you make mistakes, we are very gracious to you, like you just see it. This is just the way that we run meetings for volunteers in town. So it was very discouraging
Yeah.
to see the way that that was handled. And I think the intention was that we would do what the next steps and the discussion would involve. So,
But the votes were taken on two specific agenda items or two specific items that were not specifically on the agenda. And that is against open meeting laws.
but.
Was there an
actually-
RFI option on? the
But it did
agenda?
say discussion on results and next steps.
You can discuss, but you just can't take a vote. So those
I
things
think
could
that's
be-
open to interpret,
No, it's exactly what happened with the menorah and the Christmas tree at Christmas time. They were discussed and then it was because of open meeting law, it had to go to the next meeting in order to take a vote. So anyways,
it's
that's,
going to be discussed at our next meeting.
yes.
And I look forward to the conversation.
Yes.
Because next steps to me is a discussion,
Yeah,
but that
It's
is.
a discussion, but you just can't take a.
It has to actually say on the
Yeah,
agenda.
like we can do next steps, but
Well,
we can't
well,
take
like,
a vote on it.
well, like we see Elder Services request for funding, it doesn't say vote. I mean, I'm just,
True.
you know,
We,
it's-
we never say vote on anything.
No, but
Right.
it's request for funding, so
Yeah.
that's, I guess I would see it as a
Either we vote.
not
yes or no.
adhering to the open meeting law, so.
we're going to discuss it in next
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, so that is the feedback. We're still in process and we're going to have another meeting this month so that we can rectify the situation because I don't anticipate the vote will be any different. The first vote was unanimous and the second vote was 6-1. The point is continue to let everyone know that the survey is still available online, that they will continue to update it. And we want as much feedback as possible for the committee.
Has Joe Tyrone been involved in this at all?
Who is he?
The conservation director for the town?
We have somebody from the Conservation Committee on, he's a representative. But Chuck may have been at the meeting in January that I wasn't able to go to,
Okay.
but he has not been.
I think his input would be important out there. I don't, I've never worked with anybody on the commission, so I don't know how,
See, I mean, one of
you know, how
the,
knowledgeable they are, but in my opinion, he's very knowledgeable. He's very,
and that's one of the things that has come up in the conversation about, you know, there is some GIS information about the area and what's contaminated, what's there, what are we going to find? So, so there's so many things that are unknown. So. Involved, but Jane Wellman has been very helpful in analyzing the survey results. Any questions or?
I have a thought. I'm wondering if it might be helpful for the Council on Aging to draft a letter to the Simon's Way group expressing an interest, especially in outdoor activities. And they definitely have pickleball, which is more of a senior sport. And in the last drawing, it had 2 bocce ball courts. So I'm just thinking, supporting that senior, because if we were to go to Walgreens, we'll have no outdoor space there for any kinds of real activity. So, we're gonna need other places. So, I'm wondering, my other concern is that the timing of Walgreens and Simon Way, if Walgreens falls through, Simon's Way has enough space for a senior center. So I'm wondering if that's something that we might want to also include in the letter.
And in it, we could even cite from our, the survey that
Yeah.
Health did.
Yeah,
You've got lots of questions about outside exercise stuff.
Right,
And while it's a different survey, it's a very recent survey.
right.
One of my concerns with the Simon's Way survey is that people may be assuming just because the scuttlebutt that's around that, seniors are going to be taken care of over at Walgreens. So they might not be speaking up as much because they think it's not going to matter. So it's an important, I think, other angle on
Right.
the information.
Yeah, we really want to make sure that everyone's voice is heard. And I think those are preliminary drawings just to show
Yeah.
how the area can be utilized. And I think that's a, really
Yeah.
important point to.
it was good to see the bocce ball.
Right,
courts
right.
there.
See the shuffleboard too.
Pickleball.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Maybe it was shuffleboard,
think
but not
so.
Track.
bocce-ball.
A track.
Well, bocce ball and shuffleboard.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A track.
Track was on our list.
Yeah.
And again,
I guess
if in
practice the 100-yard dash.
we are allowed to expand our mission beyond the recently purchased land, then we could really more
Mhm.
consider those kinds of outdoor activities that are especially attractive to those of us who are
Mhm.
60 plus. So,
And the swimming pool.
Don't mention that swimming pool.
Other towns are getting them and they're focusing them on the elderly. That's a great place if you have arthritis. Anyway.
Anyway, I did think it was interesting at that meeting though, Karen, when, who was it that spoke up from Burbank?
about the swimming? About
No,
swimming? Oh.
no, that was an interesting discussion too, but no, it was someone who worked at Burbank. And he talked about a private partner relationship. And he said, most of the things that were on that diagram were not revenue generating activities.
Mm.
So I thought that was a interesting little
Exactly,
wrinkle.
right. I mean,
Yeah.
that was Carl McFadden, and he again approached it from that, he didn't believe that a public-private partnership would be attractive to any businesses because of that fact.
Yeah.
Based on what was proposed in those drawings, they were not revenue generating,
Oh,
Yeah.
like the hockey rink is
Right.
revenue generating.
Right.
So.
And also the toxic area there was a concern for
Right.
any business
Right,
coming in.
but the unknowns.
Yeah, yeah.
And how does the toxic apply if you're going to do an area for the people that are going to participate in that area? Is there any concern of environment?
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Once they dig, they have to take care of it. They have, yeah,
whatever they find, they have
Yeah.
to address.
Right.
right.
The plan right now, correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't include that area though, correct?
Not at this point, but
Yeah,
again,
but I
it's are
know.
unknown.
Mhm.
Have you been
Right.
there? Because there's these huge cement cylinders all over the place. Huge. I don't even know what they are.
In the back, you mean?
On
or-
the side
the
where this
side?
area
Okay.
would be. So
Mm.
there's, I mean, they're enormous cement cylinders.
My understanding when I went to the first meeting they had, this one you were not able to go to, so I went and, they said that they had they stopped digging because they saw stuff that was possible concern, even where the site would be.
Mm.
So once discovered, they're obligated to fix it. And so they chose to not discover it. But they don't know. It might be they saw some hints of it and it might be it's nothing and it blew over from somewhere. They don't know.
Right.
But they were concerned enough to stop digging and testing at that point.
Hmm.
So it could be the whole site for all they know. They don't know.
Hmm.
So they don't know. They don't know. And it will cost a lot. And if they find it, they got to fix it. So might as well build something nice if we're going to be doing something there, I guess. But
Well, it's a long way from where the slaughterhouse used to be, so I doubt any of those remains are there.
they said at that meeting that I think the Nike missile people that are up
Yeah.
up where the Summit Towers condo, that area, also at one point owned and used that
Yes,
land. And
that's-
for that reason, they were concerned. And they said beyond that, there were some other things that they just couldn't trace exactly who had used it for what. So they don't know.
So
So the letter, what would
you want me to draft? How,
To be honest, I think it's a little preliminary at this point. I mean, well, we are so far from making a decision. If you want, I mean, it's certainly up to the board.
Maybe
up
to go on record.
that's what I'm thinking. Early on, go on record
Mhm.
and know that the Council on Aging is watching the proceedings and the activities. And so it would be a very mild letter if,
Maybe along the lines of, we appreciate the fact that you're including activities, outdoor activities that especially interest those who are
Exactly.
60 plus.
And you could cite the study.
yeah. Do you want me to do that?
Sure.
Thank you, sure.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. All right, is there anything else on the Simon's Way topic? No? Okay, well, thank you. Thank you. Right, agenda. Where did the agenda go? Here it is. Okay. All right, our next item is, where are we on time? Oh,
Right on time.
right on time. Look at that. Wow. Reviewing the draft COA video on shortcomings of the Pleasant Street Center building. Did everyone have a chance to see the video?
I honestly didn't. I'm
You
sorry.
didn't?
No, I didn't.
No.
Did I miss the link? I'm so
Me neither.
sorry. I missed it. I'm sure it's excellent.
It's a draft. It's very much. a
Oh,
draft.
I can't believe I missed the email.
When did you sent it out on
I sent
Friday?
it Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh, that gets lost in a lot of my Friday afternoon. And I was checking all my old emails today.
You're not 42 now.
How did I miss? So it's from you, Marilyn.
It's
I'm
from me.
sorry.
It's possible I missed a name in sending it out. Let me see. We could show it. It will take, has everyone else seen it?
I think everyone, I've seen it.
Yeah, how
I-
long is it?
It's.
I've seen it.
No, I'm just kidding.
You're expert.
10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be quick if you want to just get it. Everybody.
Oh, it ended up in my trash.
Oh.
I'm sorry. That's the one. I
Oh,
didn't
gee.
see it. I thought it was trash. There it is.
Okay.
I gotta
Do you
take it out of
mind
my
if, since everyone
am
else has
fine.
seen it, we decided? We can't hear them. Oh, they're muted.
I've
Joan, you're
seen
mu-
it.
You've seen it. Joan, you're muted. Sandy, did you get to see the video?
Yep.
Great. Debbie, Jackie?
Joan saw it,
Yep, I saw it.
Okay,
and I did too, Marilyn.
all right. Does anyone mind if we?
Yeah,
don't
I
show-
saw it.
Great.
I thought it was great.
All right, do you mind if we go to
Not at
discussion?
all.
Okay, all right. You'll be able to view it and just send me your comments if you.
Okay.
Okay, so we can save 9 minutes that way. Comments, what did people think? Please be honest.
One of the first thoughts I had, they showed the office where, the nurse and the social worker sit. And they showed the office where Linda sits, and they talked about the office where Anna sits, and they called it the administrator's office. It isn't, but that's no big deal. However, there's one office up there that's probably smaller than the size of this table. And they didn't,
Chris's area.
The administrators.
I'm serious.
I know.
Is it smaller than the size of the table? Yes, it is.
Oh, it is smaller than this table.
So, I mean, that's the administrator's office. I think that should be pointed out somewhere in that video.
Okay,
I mean, other ones, I thought the video was great. I thought they did a great job.
okay.
But I.
But Chris,
Even,
What?
tell him you picked that office.
What's that?
Tell him that you picked that office.
Well, I didn't want to move, but I mean, let's go to one cubicle or the other, so.
right.
We got some feedback from John Sasso and
Oh,
basically he said he liked it. I thought we did a good job of capturing what's there, but he thought it was a little too long and repetitive and he gave details on where we might cut out, like 3 times we talk about the reception area. We don't need to talk about it 3 times and
We can add in Chris's office.
we could,
instead, yeah.
but he's looking for shorter.
I know.
He also suggested that the places where we have our speakers standing still talking, it would be a lot of refilming, but a way to save space would be to be showing the space, make them voiceovers essentially instead of show them standing there talking.
What do you mean voiceover? What?
You hear the voice as opposed to seeing our stars.
Oh, well, there was one that,
Like a lot of it.
even in the beginning, when you were showing the staircase, to me, for elders,
Yeah.
it's steep.
Yeah,
I would say something about that staircase. It was, you know, because you were right next to it a few times.
Yeah.
and
That
we
staircase isn't as bad as Walgreens.
What?
as bad as Walgreens.
Yeah.
Oh, the spiral staircase.
No, that
No.
staircase at least is able to get up and down easy.
Right, yeah.
And another thing, just in the elevator, what's the sign that says only one person?
We could probably take that down now.
Oh, you can?
That's only been there since COVID.
That's COVID.
Oh, because I thought that's a real hassle.
Yeah.
Nobody pays attention to it. Take it from someone who
opposite.
rides the elevator.
Yeah, that's another true point.
Right.
Let's go through the questions maybe. Does the video provide the viewer with a visual tour of the Pleasant Street Center? Did it accomplish that goal?
I think.
Yeah,
Okay. Does it provide a snapshot of the problems, issues with the building?
Yes.
Was there anything in the video that you didn't understand or was confusing?
Only the Parker Street thing was a little confusing
Okay.
because nobody really walks up Parker Street. They just walk up the supposed wheelchair ramp.
Mhm.
which is steep too.
It's extreme.
It's
Yeah.
not a wheel, let's not even call it.
Yeah,
a
it was-
wheelchair ramp Anymore.
I
know.
You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
they just come out right up out of the parking lot. They don't go out around and walk up Parker
No,
Street around
right.
the front.
But if they use the Parker Street parking spot, they come up that side.
Right, but I stopped in there today and everything else was full and there was only one car on Parker Street before I got there. I mean, Parker Street doesn't get used that often. A lot of people don't even realize you can park over there.
Right. Right.
Is there any non-factual information that needs to be corrected?
Just the fact about that, that's not the administrator's office, but that's a very small point.
We also,
And I checked with Perry because
Yeah.
we say in their
social work.
nurse in the social worker office. And Terry said she thought it was okay
Okay,
to continue to say the social worker.
as opposed to
office.
caseworker, her title's caseworker.
Right,
Yeah, caseworker.
yeah.
But,
We-
but they're a caseworker, but they're doing social work.
I don't know. I'm just going with what Kerry
Getting
said.
her title wrong, that's all.
Yeah,
So make
it would
sure-
be a pain in the neck to try to, we'd have to completely do that scene over on site, so. That's
Can I ask who the gentleman is in the video?
What?
What's that, John?
Gentleman in the
The
video.
gentleman in the video.
Oh,
Oh, the other guy. was
Yeah.
with You.
Yeah.
What about her?
Jean, you want to explain?
Oh, that's my grandson.
Well, Karen, I knew, him I didn't know.
That's Christopher.
We got them both for a good price.
Okay.
And I think we should have a Golden Globe Award or something for both of them. Really, really well. We really appreciate it. Is the video the right length?
so how many minutes is it?
9, they said
Is
10.
it up to 9?
Yeah, I've got it 8:38. I'm watching it with closed captions
Okay.
right now.
Ah,
8 minutes and 38 seconds.
So what was our original goal for it?
About that.
Yeah, I think we said between 6 and
seven.
8 or
Yeah.
6 and 7.
Yeah.
So if we can go through and just cut out a few of there are some spots that
Sure.
can be shortened.
Yeah.
there are.
And to John's point too, that if there's, I didn't look for repeated information.
Mhm.
And we all know this information so well that we probably don't even hear it. So it probably would be good to look again and see, are there any other
The kitchen.
areas? that we-
John picked it out. He says, when you first show the kitchen, you should stick with that and lay out all the issues with the kitchen right there instead of moving on to something else and then having to come back to it. The other one he highlighted.
Because I think when you're
Reception area.
showing it twice, once and again, you're reinforcing.
It's true, but he was looking for making it shorter.
Hmm.
No, I think it's fine.
He does say, I do think the video should be cut down. It would take a critical eye to everything and determine it's absolutely necessary and ensure no duplication. Even if you made it just 7 minutes, he says, that would be much better.
Hmm.
I showed it to a few of my friends, but I told them that they could not share it with anybody. And that was a comment that
Hmm.
It's a little long.
that it was a bit too long, that most likely, if I wasn't standing over their shoulder, they probably would have not seen the end of it.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
So maybe where we have a couple of different shots of like the St. Patty's Day party. Maybe
Mm.
take a
Oh,
couple.
yeah.
of those.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
that.
Somebody was
in there.
pounding.
Yeah, with the woman pounding it.
Oh, yeah, somebody else was messing with their hair.
Right, so we could take, I thought of that because there's
Yeah.
several, we go at one section,
Yeah.
we show something else, and then we go back to the St. Patty's party. So maybe we need to take
Yeah.
something out from that. And that would cut it.
I'm watching it right now, but you taking, I think the showing this with the stick next to the village
Mm.
table is effective enough. I don't think you need to be in it.
So they wanted me to do that to demonstrate the noise that it would make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The noise.
To say that, there's, I don't know if you can hear what there's.
Well,
There's
there's
no-
closed caption, so I can't.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, that could be cut out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I agree with
there's
that.
Two scenes of
Yeah.
that. I think the cue stick right next to the building.
Yes, I thought that was really good.
is
Yeah.
effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
I
are
kind of like Karen doing
But
that.
it's showing,
But if
it's
it's just
showing the
talking
noise
about
factor,
Oh.
which is a good thing.
I didn't know that was what it showed.
Yeah, it
Oh,
shows
okay.
the noise factor with the computer room there.
Yeah. So, but what we can do is we'll look at all these pieces and see
Where we can trim.
where we can trim it.
Wouldn't
Uh,
some of the voiceover cut down some of the time too? If that's what that John thinks we should do, is some voiceover?
He was suggesting that and where we have the places where Christopher and Karen are just standing still talking, it
Right.
would be better if we turned their voices into voiceover so we could be looking around rather than
Yeah.
looking at them.
That should cut down some of the time too, though.
It would.
Yeah. Mhm.
One of the things that is remarkable for me is like how many people can actually fit in these rooms?
Not very many.
But I think that's important. Like I'm in an exercise class and only 10 people can be in there and you're talking about how many, thousands of seniors. These rooms are so small, you can't. So if
We
you,
talked about them being too small, but I don't think we ever quantified it. We never said
I mean,
I know you always want to find room for one more if someone comes, but
I mean, even the great room, does that have a maximum
yeah, it does.
capacity?
It does, there's a few, I mean, there's the fire code capacity, which is, I think, around 70 to, somewhere between 70 and 80, don't hold me to
I
it.
think it's 75.
75.
I think so.
We, with tables for larger events, we try to cap it at about 50, just for safety reasons. That gives us room to get around, get out if we need to.
I think especially for the exercise, very limited space for that.
For the great room exercise, if they have chairs, I've noticed 25 is
The max,
kind of the max, and we've been kind of hoeing that a little bit.
yeah.
Um,
And that's all to me, because those numbers mean, that's not a big place, you know?
It's not. And what's the exercise class? 10, were you saying?
Well, I was upstairs and
It's tight.
then you gotta go into a,
Yeah,
what do you call, overflow in another room, and it's not conducive to,
you can get 10 to 12 in there
yeah.
upstairs, and you can tweak it a little bit. A lot of it, I mean, there's different factors. If you flow into the other room a little bit, which isn't always convenient, if they're using the larger, more comfortable pushy chairs with the arms, you lose a little bit more space. So there's always a little bit of factors, but it is definitely tight.
And then if we go overflow into the other room, the office person,
Oh, I know the privacy,
Yeah.
no privacy.
Yes, you
The
can.
only other thing I noticed was that we mentioned that the bathroom, there was no bathroom on the first floor. It was only the basement and upstairs, but the bathrooms were never shown to show like if they were, how small they were, how accessible or inaccessible they were. That
The
might be something.
The basement one, I think, is pretty accessible.
Yeah.
Oh, I've only seen the ladies' room. Is the men's room also got a handicap stall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the bathrooms are pretty, that just might be extra. Because they are in the ones upstairs. I've never been in the men's room, but the ladies' room is large. It's big enough for
Yeah.
a wheelchair and.
the concern is the small hallway going into your office and then going into the restrooms. Is that accessible for handicap?
Yes, because that's how you get into the elevator.
No, around the corner, Joan, if you go down to Chris's office, if you,
Yeah, but up to the bathroom is the elevator.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're right next to each other.
yeah.
right.
And the downstairs bathrooms aren't, they're old, but they're very roomy, actually.
Yeah, downstairs is big enough. Downstairs is big.
But that's me saying that as someone who's never even been there. So I have no idea.
Okay.
So however, how many other people in town have never been there? If you're trying to make a point that you're just saying, oh, they're only here and here, but you know, even if you were just to show the upstairs one, to show the small hallway, if you were to have to maneuver a wheelchair around into it, it may not be just a point.
It's a good point, yeah.
I
Actually,
don't think the upstairs ones would be good for a wheelchair, would they? I don't think you have the room.
They're pretty,
The ladies' room is,
The
would
ladies' room
would
is
work.
you're talking about
Wheelchair.
inside or the outside of
I'm
the?
talking about, once you get inside, if you wanted to use the
They're
toilet.
fairly large.
The ladies' room is big enough, John. The ladies' room is big enough.
Yeah,
this room,
What happens if you had a
I mean,
line?
The downstairs men's room is
I
huge.
think there's,
It's easy, but
yeah, I was gonna say that a little bit ago. I think there's enough room for like two people and like if there's like like you said, a companion. And I like the fact that we do have those kind of two private
mhm.
bathrooms. You know, the hallway's a little tight, but we also have a chair right outside just in
Yeah.
case someone needs to sit with a little table. So, you know, that can always be moved. Tight, yes.
But you could have a line of people even. That would, you know, if you had a crowded class or something, you might have a line and it's very.
I've never seen one in a lot of years ago.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever.
It's huge. You're
Either.
gonna have a line.
No, I've never seen a line either.
Can't drink at the same time.
And John's down there as much as I am. So
Yes, especially upstairs, because that's all the card rooms.
I see we have Laura Gamma joined us tonight. Welcome, Laura.
Oh.
Oh,
You're silenced.
Thank you.
There you are. Oh, there you are. Oh,
I'm just eavesdropping.
happy to have you. Happy to have you. All right,
Do I need to worry about that?
We'll talk later.
All right.
after tomorrow.
Yeah, after tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
What's tomorrow?
I don't know. I'm taking the day off myself.
we thought about, we had an earlier version of the video that was trying to sort of end it on a bit of a lighter note, actually start it also just thinking to get people's imagination going, because we didn't want it to be just, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. People tend to start listening, that had a detective on it, and it was sort of this is an investigation. And we opted to take it out, but just, have we gone too heavy-handed on that? Do we need to do something to lighten it up, or is that, we wanted it to be showing the negative.
It's a tough topic to be very negative,
Yeah.
present I think you did a good job.
Okay.
I think overall it's good. I think tweaking it, just spending a little bit of time just tweaking it, which I think will help shorten it. I think everyone's attention spans are just a bit shorter. So if you
Yeah.
get it
Yeah.
definitely down to like the 7-minute mark.
Mhm.
And I think just kind of tweaking, cleaning up, maybe hitting a couple things that we have, that weren't hit.
Yeah.
And I think it would probably be pretty good.
I think you have to be heavy-handed.
Okay.
I've had conversations with people in the community
Mhm.
and they do not understand the need
Yeah, the
for
situation.
a
Mhm.
new facility. They
Mhm.
absolutely do not see it. They see that their taxes are high enough. I think you need it to be in their face,
Okay.
to be honest.
And even just a video, unless you actually come to the center, it's going to be hard to
People just don't.
visualize it, understand it.
Right.
And
I'm
we are getting more people in, and they're more than welcome to come and see.
Is there pushback on Simon's Way by the same token?
No, there's just pushback in general about, well, isn't it good enough what we already have? So I think
Okay.
people do need to see this.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's interesting because the people in my social group that I sent it out to, they all to a person said, you definitely need a new senior center.
Good.
They all had little
Mm.
tweaks here and there, but to a person, they all said, yeah, you need a new senior center.
Great.
What age group were they? All
Um,
ages?
I would say they were in the. Who? There were a couple like 31s, 30 somethings.
Good.
And then there were some, older ones, like 50 to 60, kind of.
And I probably have a few things to say about that in my report here coming up next. So
Okay.
I can kind of follow up a little bit on that.
All right.
Can I just offer one other comment about
Absolutely.
this too? At one point you say, thank you for watching the video.
Mhm.
It makes it sound like that's already the end.
Mm.
And I would suggest taking that out and having this summary sheet. Because this, I think that this starting at about 7 minutes, 40 seconds. And so doing the voiceover, your voiceover with the summary, problems include. Because I think people, need to see, so I'm looking specifically at,
We kind of spliced it in.
Yeah.
I'm looking
Mhm.
specifically at
Yeah.
this. So
Yeah.
you, just before this scene, talk about, thank you for viewing this
Mhm.
video, and then you go into this.
Yeah.
So I would just, because then they may turn this off.
Yeah, it's
Right.
really easy for them to like take out a sentence
Really?
or to take out
Exactly.
4 words.
Or even add.
If it's at the beginning or the end.
Right,
So
right,
that's
yeah.
good. Yeah.
And actually, John Sasso had a similar point.
What minute is, what do
This
you
is,
have?
well, this is-
7:40?
well, yeah, let me just, it's about 7:40. Let me just see, no, it's earlier than that. It's about, here, about 7:30.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a scene where Karen and Chris are talking. We're grateful that you have taken the time to view this video. And that's at 7:25. So that could be a voiceover with that text on it, so that then they can see that there's more.
I thought that's what she did, and maybe it's not coming up
Positive.
with the,
Yeah, it's great.
I
was it
can't
that?
remember.
I think the latest version was Karen's voice
Okay.
talking over,
Well, there is talking over probably, but
Yeah.
this is,
but that little bit.
yeah.
Okay,
So, good.
And it
I-
could be the
I'm
closed
just
captioning,
wary-
I was saying.
yes,
Oh, that's true too.
Yeah, the closed captioning. might
But
be a-
yeah, that's, I
might
mean,
be out of region.
I do.
Yeah.
that's-
Closed captioning.
I do apologize because I am blind in the closed caption.
No problem.
Yeah.
John Sasso said, I would also suggest to just leave the video at the end with thank you for viewing the center and learning about the issue. Further questions, further questions talk to. I would avoid raising questions about future plans. And actually, I didn't think.
we didn't.
Yeah, I didn't see
But
any.
he said, let that be the subject of the next video. So he's already knowing where we are, which, we need.
I'm not sure if our actors are going to return. At this already.
We'll talk to their union.
Don't get your hopes up on the royalties.
So anyway, that's where things stand with it all.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
I know we've discussed this on the video, but I'd like to hear other people's opinion. We go on with the first page showing why we need a new senior center. Do you think we should add a title page stating the Pleasant Street Center? So this is our intro page.
I'm not clear on what you
In
want.
other words,
Right now, it doesn't say why we need a new center. That was Nancy's suggestion, which I actually like.
Yeah,
I just think when you see the first slide, I think we should show the sign that we have in the exterior of the building showing the Pleasant Street Center.
yeah, it would fit,
This,
it would
you
fit,
mean?
But,
it would fit there.
yeah, I tried to put it on that slide and I couldn't find one that was a decent picture and I had to get it out.
Maybe that's.
That's why it wasn't
There was another iteration of that slide,
Yeah.
which was a smaller version of the reception area and the
The sign.
sign.
Yeah,
So there was a.
So
small-
are you talking about this opening theme? This
Yeah,
is
I
how-
really.
Know what that is.
I really think that should say,
Looks like a scene from the airport.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
to know.
I really think it should say
Why we-
why we
I guess-
need a new Reading Senior Center.
Why?
It wasn't.
it we did.
Yeah, instead of a tour, it's more than
Yeah,
tour.
But that
It's,
must be the older slide then.
no,
No.
no, it got changed after you guys met.
should we all watch it again and maybe just send back our last feedbacks and then tweet?
That
We
sounds,
can review.
who should collect the feedback? Do you want to send them to me?
Oh, that sounds perfect.
Send them to me. If you send them to me, it's been, Nancy, Jean and I are the four who, and it's not been a formal work group. It's simply been four of us, which is less than a quorum. So no issues. Gathering and working on this with the help of our actress and our actor. But in terms of the actual, the ongoing meetings with RCTV, it's been the four of us. So if you send it to me, I will share it with the other three. And again, we don't risk open meeting issues because it's just the four of us. Laura's still listening. It's not a work group.
So thank you all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It says it's Director 4.
Laura's back.
Laura's back. She is.
I love that you're here.
With
What's
that great background.
I'm sweating.
That's
I think. I think we're wearing our welcome a little thin with RCTV, so we can't do too many. That's one of the reasons we
Oh,
wanted to
right.
come to all of you. Is let's gather the input
Right.
Yeah.
now and try to do a collective tighten up, clean up
Yeah.
across the board. And then hopefully when I think I was the last one to communicate with them, I said that there would be undoubtedly some edits to the audio. There are some tweaks because of just moving, we might need to tweak a little. And some edits to the filming, but I'm hoping that we can say thank you very much and be done soon.
Yeah.
I'm sure they are too.
We'll see you for season 2.
I'm really excited, but we talked to, actually in that same meeting, we talked to Mark about showing it. And I asked, is there a way we can show it at town meeting? Is that ever done? And
Oh,
he didn't really know. He said that he tended to think not, but he's going to be showing a couple of PowerPoint slides. Why you can show PowerPoint and not video is a mystery to me.
Laura might know.
Laura might know. Laura, are we allowed to show video at town meeting?
You have to get Ellen's approval. The
Ellen's
town
approval.
moderator.
oh,
Moderator? The
Oh,
moderator?
that'll be,
That's what Mark said. He said, go to the moderator, ask the moderator and Fidel, he said.
Yeah. And
That's
if Alan okays it, then you would work with me or Fidel to get it operating.
Okay, all right, so that's one thing. We talked about the Tom website. I mentioned that we had 2 students who did all this video work, really. And he said, you know, that's great. You might be able to get the parents committee and or the schools to show it as student work, getting linked in with all the student stuff. Nancy, you'd listed a whole bunch of places that I took it out of the letter because I was trying to keep us focused that we might also do it.
Oh, to display it?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking it's going to be important for all of us to send it to as many people
Uh-huh.
as we possibly can. And for those people to send it to as many people as we possibly can. That's kind of like our first outreach effort. There's about 3 or 4, maybe 3 or 4 Reading Facebook pages that it could be sent to. Newspapers, it could go to the newspaper, like the Reading Post, I think actually on their website will post links to videos or so it can go to the papers. I think on the website, and correct me if I'm wrong, Laura, but I think a number of the town meeting members have their email addresses on the town website. I don't know if that got changed or they're still out there.
They're still on, yeah, they are still on the website. But if you
Yeah.
have something that you want town meeting members to see, I can very easily send it out to all the town meeting members. So if we have a
oh,
link,
good.
that can
Wonderful,
get sent out.
Okay.
wonderful.
Yeah,
And we can also email blast it out with the
Yeah.
center's email us
yeah.
list.
And Mark mentioned that on a couple of update slides, if we have it ready, I don't know, we're gonna have it ready that soon, but he said another thing, you could put QR codes on slides he shows, so people could use that and get the link. What else did he say?
Could we actually put it on the town website?
Yes, I think. Laura, we could put it on the town website?
You can put a link on the town website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Laura, I hope you're not here just to listen in.
That's funny.
All right, so it sounds like basically we took notes and we've got the video so we can make sure we haven't missed anyone's contributions. If there's more things that come to mind, could we do it by next, say, Monday? It's a week's time for everyone to have more thoughts,
Yeah.
watch it again, send an email to me, and I will forward it to my band of bandits here that I'm working with.
You too, Laura.
Yes, gone again.
Oh, she's
I
there.
do have a question.
Yeah.
All right, so we're basically talking about the marketing plan with the video. Now that I'm very aware of OML, Laura, do we need to take a vote on something like that as part of the marketing plan? Because that's part of next steps. Okay,
No, it's up to you on how you want to do it as far as running your meeting. No.
Mm. I,
Okay, thank
yeah,
you.
thanks.
Um,
I mean, we could just say, initially that this group feels that it should get out to town meeting. And then we can put together a more strategic written marketing plan.
Mhm.
But if we think it really needs to get out to town meeting, because those are the people that are going to be voting on it. If the group thinks that, like, I make a motion that the Council on Aging move forward to try to get this out to all town meeting members and possibly show it at the town meeting.
The April town meeting?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the 24th. It's,
It just depends on RCTV. I mean, I think the edits we're talking about are pretty mild in terms of, well,
Yeah.
easy for us to say, we're not the ones doing it, but.
And there's April vacation too, so
That actually
typically,
works in our favor, at least it did in February, it meant the students were available more.
okay. Great.
That doesn't mean that that's the
But-
way April will go.
And we could take a vote, and if we don't make it, we don't make it. But if we make it,
We're fine.
then we know that we have the support of members of.
This would mean that the council would be entrusting us to decide that we think we've satisfied all of this without showing you a final version. Are people comfortable with that? Do you want to authorize us to do that? You don't have to. I'm just saying that's what's inherent in this.
That's true. That's true.
Or we could call a special meeting before that time to do it too.
So I think there's a time frame. I think the sooner we take motion to get this forward. Otherwise, we're gonna start having all kinds of other edits. And we're not,
That's
gonna-
true.
and we're not. this
Not
is
gonna
be
have.
for not.
Right.
So I think the quicker we move on it,
It's true.
Yeah.
you could always do an additional one going forward. More of an updated one if you feel there's other items that we missed.
My gut is saying a special, quick, another one of those really short special meetings, just so that everyone's got a chance to see the finished product before we
Just about.
start pumping it out.
Agreed.
If everyone's open to a special meeting, and again, it would be the only topic, it would be like when we had to vote to get, oh, you didn't bring your budget. Did you bring your budget request for your coffee hours?
But I agree with you, Marilyn. I think
Okay,
you let everyone see the final version first before, and then if you need to quickly rejoin, because those only take 5 minutes.
exactly.
So
As long as people understand that the likelihood at that meeting of being able to make changes.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not gonna be
Is
doable.
probably not an option.
I think it's just a time, if anyone has a last minute objection before we throw it out to the world, it allows them to say so. And we can think again. I mean, the
Yeah.
town meeting
No, that's
people-
true.
the town meeting people are gonna still be there and there's not gonna be a vote in April is the
That's true.
understanding, so.
That's true.
Okay, all right, so we should plan on a special meet. It's hard to know when it's gonna be. We've got to confer with our CTV. And we need to think about re-recording a little bit of the audio. We need a good working session, not a work group. More people having a conversation. Why don't we come back to you with the proposed special meeting date rather than setting one and not knowing whether the pieces are gonna fall together? Or should we set one? We haven't got much time.
No, yeah, I think maybe we should set one,
All right, let's
And
look
then
at the calendar.
like maybe vacation week,
It's the third.
because today is the 3rd. So if we get edits to them on Thursday, they'll be able to do some of the edits. And if we have to re-record, that's another whole issue, but
Suppose Thursday, April 20th. Is there anything going on in the town that night that would be in our way?
Well, the town meeting's the following week.
Mm, mm-mm.
Oh,
Well, all we're doing is saying, yeah, we've got it or we don't. we're not trying to edit further for that town meeting because there won't be time.
Right.
So I'm kind of pushing it out as far as we can go to get our work done.
So you're basically just saying this is the final product. What's to discuss if we're not going to change
Right.
anything?
We can change it for a town meeting that's later. We just won't be able to change it for the 24th.
So why?
Or
not-
So we don't need to meet.
Yeah, or what the group could decide is do not show this
Right,
at the town meeting
right,
and
on the
do
24th.
not send it out to town meeting members.
right.
I think that's the,
Okay, so whether we
More of
agree.
Agree to make sure you.
It's all or no.
yeah,
Yeah, I know, I'll be away. I'm on the West Coast
Okay.
then, but I could join
you could zoom in.
You could do.
potentially, but it's a we're
Are
three.
you aiming for the 20th?
I was just thinking
20th?
Thursday, the 20th. I was wondering.
Could
That's a 30.
possibly, but it's family day,
20th of the,
vacation.
April 20th. Well, I think that the week of the 14th is probably too soon because there's
Yeah.
Easter coming up and we are gonna need a long meeting to make sure we've got every little thing exactly the way we want it. So we only ask once. And we need to coordinate some time to
What about the 18th?
The 18th,
well, I would,
and that would give us that Thursday.
Yeah,
without knowing RCTV's possibilities right now, I would plan on either the 18th or the 20th, just to give the most time, but we can always,
Okay.
yeah,
Marilyn can always email to just verify later on the
or
exact date,
the 17th.
just to make sure we have a quorum.
It's a Monday.
Holiday.
I wouldn't go sooner.
It's a holiday.
Patriots.
All right.
Uh,
Would you just send out the link ahead of time? Because then I
Yeah.
can just say, yes, I'm
And you
for
won't
it.
put it in the trash.
You can smack her, Karen.
Are we also with this, Marilyn?
The
Pardon me?
18th
We all
works
set?
better for me.
I'm sorry, what?
The 20th.
Okay.
Oh, that's right, we're getting off schedule here. Thank you, my clock watcher. All right, so we're talking about April 20th for a special meeting. It's a Thursday.
No, I thought
I can't,
we did Friday.
the 20th, I can make it on the 18th
We
though.
could make it on the 18th, tax day. Could others make it on the 18th? No.
If you send it out ahead of
You can-
time, I will let you know what I would think.
Let's aim for the,
18th. Let's aim for the
let's
18th.
aim for the 18th, okay. And it will be a real quick meeting. It'll be a yay or nay. All right, is anyone uncomfortable with sending it out? Yeah.
Karen and I will both be on the West Coast, so.
Oh, you
We can
too?
figure that out.
Oh,
All right. So this means we need to get it out to people by the 17th. All right, and that'll be a yay or nay
And
release. It.
yeah, and I'm thinking that we could send it out sooner because the kids only work on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
But there's spring vacation, so they might be around.
Might be.
Might be, or they might not be around at all. All right, we'll find out. We'll aim. We'll see what we can do.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
Elder services.
Thank you. Where'd my agenda go? It's here somewhere. Thank you. All right, thank you, everyone. Good discussion, good. Other services report.
Yes, we had a fantastic March. We were really busy in March. We had the St. Patrick's luncheon on the 23rd, opening day celebration last week on the 30th, birthday lunch, pizza and a movie. We had a lot going on in March, and we have a lot coming up in April as well. If you actually take a look at the numbers, I went back since the beginning of 2012. And from my calculations, March was the biggest month that I can see that we've had
Great.
on record.
Wow.
So we had our duplicated was 20. If you flip back to the second page that I sent, I broke it down to top 8 months that we've had. And that's kind of what it looked like. So we were really excited about that. It was a really good month numbers wise. And then I also threw in on the bottom of the second page, we've had really good growth since the beginning of July 1st. So over the past 9 months, we've had a 132.28% increase over the past 9 months.
That might
with
be
numbers.
a nice statistic to put into the video since we have no numbers other than.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a great one. It really proves the point.
So we really are.
It seems here.
So we really are, we are really growing. The good part is we still have some room. We still have some room to grow, which is good. We're gonna continue to add some things, such as another community lunch within the next few months. That's been going well. Right now we have it on Mondays. And we're really taking a look at our days where we can put things, trying to pay attention to our transition periods. And we're trying to not make them too long, but not make them too short. So we can, get one thing out, one thing in, and it's actually working out really well. And then, as I mentioned, I was going to mention a little bit ago, this Thursday, it's going to be interesting. We have 3 things going on at once Thursday morning. So we have a program in the great room, we have a program in the lounge, Scuttlebutt, and then we have a lecture in the upstairs kitchen. So, we're going to see how it does, maximizing our space. This is the first time that we're going to have 3 spaces going pretty much at the same time. But it also is showing that we're starting to have wait lists. So, I hate the fact that we have to make wait lists and turn some folks away, but we're getting to the point, we're getting closer to now where we can be like, hey, we max out at 15 upstairs in the kitchen. This is what we can handle. These are the wait lists that we have. So we're actually starting into that issue.
Could you start, if you're not already doing so, keeping permanently the records of which programs got wait lists when, because that's the kind of thing will help when we get the pushback of why do you need it?
Yeah.
It's just if we can actually name these 3 programs on Thursday had wait lists and we didn't end up accommodating everybody. We did our best.
Not all 3 had wait lists,
But that's
but we're
okay.
starting to
But
see.
Yeah. whatever it is.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
Because
but
there's been talk of that for years and it's been not well documented in terms of concrete, which programs and when, and so it becomes kind of folklore instead of, yep, it really is happening.
So we are really, we're not doing 3 rooms all the time, but, with the increase in the numbers and the activities that are being developed with the team, we really are filling the center. And the increase in numbers is really showing that. So, kudos to the team. And this was, 8 out of the 9 months, we were not fully staffed. So I like to, it's been quite an accomplishment with for the staff to be able to do that. So, also what you can also see here is Elise and Carrie, I think Elise wrapped up. Carrie has another, I think, week or 2, a recording training course going on. I'm glad they're doing that. We have the Delvena Theater Company coming in on April 18th. Right now we have 60 people signed up for it. And we're assessing if we can increase that. So that's also another event that has a wait list. So we're trying to, so we're getting a good response. And then
Going to be held.
what's that?
There'll be a-
When or where?
Where?
That'll be in the great room.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's really room to put on a whole play and have 60, 70 people.
We're gonna see. So
Tight.
it's gonna be tight. The good thing is we don't have to have tables. So it's just a chair setup.
All the tables
Which-
will be moved into the kitchen.
Yeah. So, that's why we've capped it right now. We capped it at 50. I decided to move it up to 60. And then as we get closer, we're going to see how many people are on the wait list. We may be able to, if it's maybe it'll pop a few on. So we're actually excited that we really are size the space and what we have and that the groups are going. And we also have the new Fiber Arts group coming up Wednesday.
Right.
So Wednesday morning. So if you know of anyone with Fiber Arts who likes to knit, so do anything with fiber
Knitting.
knitting,
Crocheting.
I
sewing.
got to get a list of all the fiber.
There are several people that I know say they're coming, but I don't think they're registered.
That's fine. We have the space, so that's good.
Was it 15?
Yeah, we could probably do up to 15. Yeah. I think we have 5 or 6 right now registered. So
Okay.
we're excited for that. So, I mean, that also shows that we're trying to add new programs every month. And I think we have something I forgot to look back on, but most months we have added some new programming, which is good. And we're trying to continue that.
Good job.
So
Thank you.
actually, so we've had really good numbers. So,
Anything later in the day?
so yeah, we are exploring the conversations going around. I'm just figuring out some details. So two things that well, one thing that we've done is we've started doing more multi-generational stuff with the rec department. We had some ceramic painting the last month, which was a huge success. And we're trying to do those at like in the 4 o'clock hour. So we're trying to fill that with a little bit later in the day. And we are chatting about some evening activity. I'm trying to work that out on some of the details. You know, a lot of it has to come down to staffing. I think I have some details figured out to be able to get that started.
There used to be that magazine that comes out that says when the teams and things are all meeting. I think it's not really a magazine, it's a flyer. It's mostly children's stuff, but usually had a page or two of adult activities.
Yeah.
There used to be stuff at the high school in the evening, and I haven't seen those in years now.
The activity part is not as, the activity and the programming part is more of the easy part, just getting the logistics of, you know, staffing. I mean,
But I don't think it would run, it's something that,
You're talking
yeah.
about adult education.
Yeah.
Schools.
yeah.
and I was also thinking,
I took a course on how to do a blog when blogging. So.
I also think it might be a good opportunity for the COA board. We don't need a lot of staff
Mhm.
for the evening. But I was also thinking if we have one staff from the center, if like it could be me there for the evening. But I also think it could be a good opportunity for the COA board to, you know, I know a lot of you work during the day, but maybe help out in the evening for the evening program and just be more involved at the center. And I kind of really like that idea. Which wouldn't have to be all the time, but you know, maybe the COA board could select, you know, make a schedule of like, hey, I'll do this
Right.
this Thursday evening.
Yeah.
And someone else could do another Thursday evening, just to get the support of the COA board and, you know.
I take art classes.
Which leads to a question that I was about to ask. How are we doing on the progress on re-quarrying all those volunteers on the list?
It is we're starting that process more so this week. I finally gotten we finally have been able to catch our breath a little bit. You know, we have a small staff and we're doing a lot. But the good thing is now that we have the Monday community lunch up and going, we have Anna's doing an amazing job with scheduling events. We're starting to get some breathing room to start looking at the volunteers. And I would like to, hopefully especially within the next month, we have been utilizing more of our volunteers that we've already had quarried who are regular to come in to help set up for events, clean up for events. But my hope is to start expanding that even more, especially for the day programs.
Wasn't it Jenna that was doing the working on the re-quarried list?
Jenna and myself, and then we got sidetracked a little bit.
But even evening, the Arlington I take art classes at night in Arlington and there are always 3 people there at a table in the entryway and they change. It's not the same people every week and they look like volunteers. I don't know what volunteers look like, but they look like them. But they're just there to answer questions. If someone's new and doesn't know what room their class is in or whatever. And it's the sort of thing volunteers can really help out with. It's an easy job. It just, you gotta show up and you gotta be.
Yeah, I think one staff member is good, but I think especially if it's a board person or somebody, I think especially as we start into this new venture of getting into the evening, I like the idea of we just need to, what's been very important over the past 9 months is making sure when somebody walks in the door, they're greeted. And no, you know.
That's what these 3 women do.
You know, and especially if we're trying to reach,
Cookies.
yeah, especially if we're trying to reach folks that haven't been to the center in the evening, a new class of folks. I want to make sure like when somebody comes in the door, they're greeted.
Yeah.
Someone says hi and can answer questions.
Yeah.
And that could be volunteer if they're up to date on stuff. But I also like the idea, like I said, either the staff member or a COA board member, just to get that customer service.
Another question on the volunteers. Are most of the ones you're using abatement volunteers?
What does that mean?
Oh.
They get time off their
Right.
taxes?
A few are, yes. I know a few of them are. We don't have a huge thing, but we need to do a huge push on that. But again, it just comes down to time and getting it done.
Those people can really use the hours.
Yeah, yep. So I make sure the ones that, I am making sure the ones that come in that need it and who have been volunteering are getting it. But we do need to do a push on that to make sure we get folks in, to get that tax break if they need to.
And a volunteer coordinator is in the works.
That's in the works too. We have funding in the ARPA funding
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
Again, this is all just taking time. I mean, it's one of those things, do we, you know, we could have got everything else, but you know, what we got is we have numbers and we have people coming in.
Yeah, you know, you're doing great.
Which is good. So we have to keep that in mind is before, you know, what I wanted is I want to make sure we have the numbers, we have the people coming in, because if we don't, I mean,
Yeah.
we have more,
Volunteer.
why do we need the volunteer? Why do we need, you know, that gives people, you know, because we have larger numbers, we can get more people to help out with tax. It's like, we're getting the base that we need rather than, you know, putting the cart before the horse. And we really are, now that we are, you know, I was just having a chat with Anna, like, I'm getting to the point, I'm gonna stop running around less. Even though I want to, you know, show my face, but you know what, now we get the volunteers in. Now we have that, you know, we get the volunteers quarried, then we can get the volunteer coordinator and we got the system, we have the structure that we need in an appropriate order. So, which is really good.
So if any of the members of the COA wanted to volunteer, do we also need to get quarried? Is that something that we should be
Already.
proactive?
Should it already be quarried if not?
No, I was just quarried again.
Good.
I was quarried again.
Oh, really?
I don't know why.
Yeah, Cory must
I
have
just
been up.
don't, I might just not remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
We're
make
quarried to
sure,
the town?
Yeah.
When you interviewed and when they picked you, it was supposed to be part of the process that
Right.
Cory did before they wrote you your letter thing. But yeah,
but we will check if, especially if you're starting to do more in-person stuff, yes, anyone in person will need to be quarried.
Now, does that Corey have to be updated periodically?
Yeah, every 2 years
It will be, yes.
Every 3 years, right?
or 2. My church does it, so she
I think-
meets every 2, but
I don't think there's an actual, I think Jen and myself and HR will have to have a discussion on where we want to step that.
I thought the town protocol was 3 years, but I'm not positive.
Yeah. But yes, you will need to get recorded.
okay, that all sounds wonderful. All right, Elder Services request for funding. Last month you didn't want any money.
We're actually doing pretty well again. We do have a busy April coming up.
Yeah,
But the theater show is grant funded,
okay,
which is
Yeah.
good.
yeah,
So we got that through the
Yes,
Cultural
cultural.
Council.
Yeah.
I always have Art Council in my head. So we actually got that paid for. So what we have right now is we have the birthday lunch, we have the pizza and the movie, and we have the theater. So we have a lot of events going on, but we don't need, like, the theater, we're not serving a full lunch, but refreshments would be good. So we are very packed. This month, I'm asking for up to 1,000 to cover the expenses. For the 3 events that I've been able to calculate in any,
Which ones again? Say them.
birthday lunch, movie and pizza, and the theater show, because I don't wanna, we will get something for the theater. Just not a full lunch for
Yeah.
it.
something you might want to do with the birthday, with the cakes anyway, that Jane used to do is she would ask for 6 to 12 months worth of cake. We didn't used to pay for lunch. I'm not saying we shouldn't be now, but it used to get done through MVES. So what we bought was the birthday cake, and she would ask for 6 to 12 months worth of birthday cake and cards. I think they used to give $10 gift cards or something. I don't know if you
They-
still do that.
It used to be 5, we just upped it to 10.
Okay, so she asked for money for that for like 12 months to come,
Okay.
6 to 12. And what she would do is she would get one of those gift cards from Market Basket with the total for 12 birthday cakes. And whoever was picking it up, she could just hand them the card. They would go to that way
Okay.
it saved some of the having to submit expenses and worry about all the receipt. And
Yeah.
it saved having to think every month if we got birthday cake money in.
That's actually a good idea, and that cuts us down on using the P card. So let me calculate
All
that
right.
for next,
Okay, all right, just a suggestion.
for whatever month, we're April, right? So let me calculate it for May.
All right.
But that's a good idea, I like that.
All right, so for April, you would like up to 1,000 to cover these expenses for these. Is that enough?
Yes.
You sure? Are we giving them dessert and coffee?
Yeah, we're not doing a full, I would shift it if we were doing
Okay.
more full lunches, but because of
Okay.
the little bit shifting.
Because again, to the point we were making last month, these funds that we have are not taxpayer dollars. These are bequests by people who wanted us to make merry and make people happy. So while on tax dollars, we might want to be as, frugal as humanly possible. We certainly don't want to be wasteful with any of this money, but we can go the little extra yard. That's kind of the point.
But this time, like I said, up to 1,000
Okay.
would be funny.
Do we have a motion?
So move.
We need it from a fund from Burbank.
Second,
Okay, I'll take the vote. Debbie Small? Debbie? You muted?
Yes, yep, sorry, yes.
Okay, okay. Joan Coco?
Yes.
Karen Fotino?
Yes.
Karen Panett?
Yes.
Marilyn Shapley, yes. Karen Janowski?
Yeah.
John Parsons?
yes,
Sally Hoyt? I think we lost Sally.
Yeah.
we did.
Okay. Sandy Schaefer?
Yes.
Nancy Twadros?
Yes.
And we have a quorum saying yes. So, great.
Can I make a suggestion, just something to think about
No.
and
What's going on here?
I was just thinking that there's usually like 3 events a month for which you would like some help sponsoring the event with gift cards or food or whatever it might be. And it hovers around $800 to $1,500. So I'm wondering if, as a Council on Aging, if we were to say that for 3 events a month, that there would be X number of dollars over the course of the year for you to spend from. And you can report back on how the money was spent, but to have to every month come to the board and say, can I have a little of this? Can I have a little of that? If we were to say, given our trust funds, we will allot you, the Pleasant Street Center would be allotted, say, I don't know, $1,200 a month to support
The senior activities.
the senior activities. So it's just something for us to think about. We
But
can-
it'd only be taken out each month.
Hmm?
It would only be taken out each month.
Yeah, but
You're
we-
not talking about taking it out in advance.
We wouldn't have to, we would say, I don't know, 8 months, what is
No,
however many
I
times.
understand, but what I'm trying to get a solid answer, you're not talking about taking out all that money in advance.
No, correct. No,
Okay, because I wouldn't want to be losing the interest.
no,
I think-
yeah,
Right.
no. But I'm saying that we wouldn't necessarily have to vote on it at every meeting. Chris would know that he has X amount of money. And, you know, if a really good deal came up at BJ's or something, you would be able to.
I don't-
I would just caution, I think it's a very efficient thing to do, and if we can do it, great. I think I would like to see it. Be careful that we're not crossing the line of providing sort of undesignated budget money, because the trust funds are not meant to supplement the town budget. They're meant to be specifically for extra nice things that we can do through the trust. So I would just want more detail. I wouldn't want to leave it open-ended as.
It might be
1,200
worth to do it
whatever.
maybe quarterly.
Mhm.
Because I think like, I think at the beginning of this year, I had asked for 2 or 3 months.
Yep.
And that seemed to work. I was able to calculate 3 months
Yep.
ahead. And I think like 3 months is manageable. You know, once you go to, I wouldn't want to do a year, definitely wouldn't want to do the entire year.
Yeah.
Even at 8 months, it's hard to say what's coming up, but if we shorten it, rather than doing every month, let's look at every 3 to 4 months. I think would be nice.
Yeah, and
Um,
you could have categories of specific kind of expenditures. I
Yeah.
think that would protect
And-
us from any
And,
interpretation that we weren't
and
being faithful to what the trust funds.
especially now with Anna's really doing a great job of starting to plan 3 months out or even longer. So, I do have that idea of what we're doing in 3 months.
Yep.
So I like that idea.
Okay. And Nancy, do you need funds for the coffee hours?
Oh, the coffee hours. I don't know. We should have a discussion about that, maybe really quick. Not very many people show up for
Okay.
them.
All right.
Some people have said to me, well, what are they for? And it's like, to gather together and to see the center, but I don't think that's coming across. So a lot of times, if we've tried the morning, we've tried the afternoon, but I'd say at the most, and we'll get some people that are dropping in from other programs or are hangovers from a program that it's just occurred, but they're running between $60 to $80 a coffee. So we just wanna.
Not per cup, not
Oh,
per
but-
cup.
And part of that reason is because I don't have the time to make the coffee, cook the goodies, find a platter. So I go to Dunkin' Donuts and I've been trying different places. The cheapest is Dunkin' Donuts. But if we had a cadre of volunteers that wanted
I
to,
was gonna say
make-
that, maybe
Oh.
But one person does 1 week, another person does another week for volunteering.
we only do
Yeah.
once a month.
Once a month, okay. I
So,
think maybe we should add another week in there, if possible, so they would know, no?
just because they're not well attended now, and I think that people don't understand what they are.
And the only reason we had 2 people last month was they just happened to be there from another thing. They said the goodies go on the table and said, well, we might as well hang around.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would have been out the door.
Out the door.
Is
Yeah.
it making it into pleasantries?
It is making it into the pleasantries. I think what I would like to do is, try it for another month or 2, at least maybe 2. Maybe pick a morning, see if we can't find a morning slot. I know the first time the morning one worked, the afternoon one worked, but let's try to push it hard, for another month or two.
Okay.
Then we-
And we'll try to get the explanation out a little bit more.
Okay,
Maybe when you do, you know how sometimes you send out
I do
a weekly
Yeah,
reminder?
I'm trying to do that more often, so I'll throw it in
Yeah.
there.
And maybe we could make the topic the new senior center and actually have a little
All right, now wait a minute, I was thinking,
program or something. Right now, we just kind of do coffee.
Yeah.
and
Talk about whatever.
Talk
Yeah.
about whatever. Actually, Rosemary, the first time did poker and that was great.
Mhm.
But
What do you mean? How to play poker?
no, we just all got together. There were about 10.
There was no
12
betting, it was just playing cards.
There were 10 or 12 people and everybody had a great time.
maybe we
But
should
it
play
was,
some poker game.
but it just kind of flowed from the people
Yeah.
that was there and also Rosemary who
Led it, yeah.
who led it. She was great doing that. So
So we're gonna keep it up for a couple more months, which means you need money. So $80 a month? What would you like? What do you need?
yeah, we could, $80.
enough?
Yeah, that would be good. It could be less if I go back to.
It's up to, you don't have to spend the $80.
If you bring in the coffee, we can also brew it out there. I got new canisters to serve coffee and hot water in for events. So if you actually bring it in, we can quickly brew an entire canister of it pretty
Yeah.
quickly, which would save a little bit. I mean, not that we need to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of saving money.
Yeah. But I also don't want to put more work on the staff for which this was more of, so.
Maybe that's where we try to get a volunteer to use,
Yeah.
so that they come in at a certain time, put the coffee on,
let's see
and
it.
then it's ready to go, or set the.
I mean,
table.
Rosemary is great. She's there every single time.
Yeah.
Thing bummed again?
So-
No.
Sally.
Back.
Hi, Sally.
Really, it's
No,
not-
I think if we just work out the details, I think we
Okay.
can make a good push at this.
Yeah. If anybody knows anybody that wants to volunteer.
That's what I did.
Depend on what time frame. Maybe the morning might be a better time for volunteers.
I don't know. We've tried,
What time have you
I
had? it?
forget, there's one on the 26th. And I forget what time it is.
3,
3:00,
yeah.
It's
the
late.
26th.
Yeah. We need a motion for, should we do 3 months worth? Just, you don't have to spend it. It's an up to. So at $80 a month, that would be 240, let's call it 250 to round it up. We need a motion for up to 250 from Burbank
We
to
haven't-
support the next few months of coffees. I can't make motions because I'm,
Second.
okay,
Okay,
my list. All right. In favor of the motion, Debbie Small,
who knows what the motion was?
Debbie,
I don't know where she is.
you muted Debbie. We
No,
lost.
she's not here.
No, she said.
No, I'm
here. Okay, are you in favor of the motion?
And it's gonna disappear.
Yes. Yes,
Yes.
okay. Joan Coco,
Yes,
Karen Fortino,
Yes.
Karen Panett,
Yes.
Marilyn Shapley, yes. Karen Janowski.
Yeah.
John Parsons.
Yes.
Sally Hoyt.
Yes.
Yeah. Sandy Schaefer,
Yes. I guess you came through.
Nancy Twadros.
Yes.
Okay, we have unanimous. We're with 3 more months of coffee money.
I took the 2 pictures to show him. It's all-
All right. We do not have a financial report this month because Jenna's not here and just as well because we're running late.
I forgot to grab it.
We'll catch up next month. Update on the establishment of a Friends of. Nancy, you're on again.
We had 2 meetings, fantastic people. And there's the last meeting, we had 9 people. We had 9 ladies and 1 gentleman. attend.
Was that John? The gentleman? Wow, John.
The only reason they allowed me to go is they use my church.
Right, right.
Otherwise, I'd be out the door.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no, we would never let you leave. We've come up, I don't know how much I can share. I think I can share at this meeting.
We just aren't allowed to raise money. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we've tossed around some names. So a draft name that everybody kind of liked was Friends of Reading Senior 60 Plus. So that was as opposed to, there's this whole naming, rebranding effort going on at Elder Affairs for the state. So we were trying not to use senior citizens is what,
Yeah.
but we tried to get the word in there. The draft mission statement as it reads now is the Friends of Reading Seniors 60 Plus mission is to fundraise for service and activities that enhance the dignity of seniors, support their independence, and encourage social interaction.
Excellent. Impressive.
We talked about publicity. One of the things that Peter from the rec department recommended was that the Lions Club Friends and Family Day is coming up. So it would be a good idea to have a tent there. He said, because first you've got to raise some awareness that your group is out there. Then you can start doing fundraising events.
Yeah.
So we're going, and the Reading Rec has donated $200 to get us up and running. So that will pay for the registration fee. And also we're going to make a banner, and several of the people on the committee know someone has already contacted them. The banner's in progress. It's being
Great.
made. These are like gung-ho people. Let's see, the group is also researching other friends of senior groups, and they're going to report back. So much like what Recalc did, it might be a phone call, it might be an email, they might do an actual visit, but it's up to that person how they want to collect the information. And everybody's volunteered to take a town to do some research. So that will be at the next meeting. And the next meeting is April 11th at 11 o'clock at the Church of the Good Shepherd on 95 Woburn Street. Much like we talked about the video, that, we're thinking of a publicity campaign and how to get the word out there. But at the Friends and Family Day, we won't be raising money. We'll just be collecting names. And Anne Marie, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Bork.
Yeah.
Okay. She's taken on the task of putting together some raffle baskets and promotional flyers. Marianne,
Kieran, yeah.
Kieran has volunteered to organize the banner. So Barbara, I don't have her last name here, but she's looking at bringing chairs, and because we've got to bring our own chairs, tables, and those kinds of things. So, and they're so excited about it.
That's
So
great.
this is really good.
That's fabulous.
Yeah. Yeah.
This has moved quickly.
Yeah.
Well done. God.
So is it official? Are you now 501c3?
No.
No.
Okay. And that was one thing that Peter said, you can work for a while
Oh.
and not have your 501c, 501
3C.
status. that can come later.
Oh.
But of course, what we wouldn't be able to do is collect money.
Right.
So he said what they did for a while, they used the town was able to take the money and fund it, store it for us. It might be that the Reading Rec 501c might be able to take the money, but that's down the road. So it's nothing that, we just can't take money, but we can start to get the word out.
Great.
So we're gonna start looking at that.
You also know.
There might be a lawyer in town who's willing to do some pro bono work, so I have yet to, that was my job, and I have to
Great.
contact him about it.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So,
That's awesome.
and
Exciting.
who else is on the committee?
Hmm.
Nora's on the committee, and Karen, Charlotte,
Joanne.
Joanne Woodbridge, she's the shine lady.
Yeah, guys, yeah.
Woolridge. I see, look at, I'm really terrible. I don't know the spelling here.
Not sure about our secretary.
And the reason she wants to retire. I have Woodbridge on here, so,
Okay.
so,
And
yeah.
Charlotte,
And Charlotte,
Are you gonna listen to this?
Really, I think it's the,
'Cause I think-
a number of the people are from the group, the Neighborhood Network Group. And they're just really gung ho
Great.
and getting organized. So
Fabulous.
this is
So, yes, thank you.
really good. Really, really good. So we'll be doing, so, promote raffle baskets, look around your house, see if there's anything that you might want to give up, or, we're thinking candy, balloons,
puzzles, anything, yeah.
puzzles.
Okay.
The purpose of the raffle is to get their names and numbers, or names and emails.
Come to the table, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when they get there though, if they're gonna sign up for the raffle, then they've got to give us a piece of paper with something.
Right.
So we can let them know they won.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
then we have them somewhat, a way to communicate with them.
Very tricky.
Right.
And then they can't unsubscribe.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
You did mention the, whatever, the Family Friends Day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, is it,
thinking about the Council on Aging having a tent too, or Pleasant Street Center in conjunction. Do we want to do one together?
When's the date on that?
June 10th.
yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, in the past we've shared. Or we've been juxtaposed.
Yeah, there've been 2 tents. So last year, the Pleasant Street Center, we glommed on to the Pleasant Street
Yeah,
Center.
yeah.
So we didn't, but somehow we had 2
You had your own
tents.
space.
We had our own space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever, but we have to reserve the space in the tent or they won't have a space.
How much is the cost? I heard
It's
20.
$50 to
50?
register, but, and they don't provide
Anything.
tables and chairs. I think the DPW, I think the Pleasant Street Center worked with the DPW.
Yeah, somehow it was all taken care of for us.
Yeah.
We had a tent, we had chairs and we had tables.
Yeah.
But
And
the-
actually recalc too was like,
Yeah,
I
that's
still
right,
have the
regional
banner
governments.
that says Council on Aging and.
Right,
Yeah.
right. We glommed on.
Yeah. Glommed onto us.
Bombing works.
Now, didn't I hear you say you wanted to piggyback with the council? Didn't you say you wanted to piggyback with the council on this?
Oh, for the friends. you
Oh,
mean.
I don't
think you
think we
should.
can
Yeah.
because of the fundraising. aspect.
Because I mean, the council, it wouldn't cost anything for registration.
Why?
The town, it's a town.
The
it's a
town council.
thing.
Oh, okay.
The council can't be involved in fundraising.
Fundraising.
Okay.
Make sure we
I
don't.
think it was also a cost to the town. You have
Yeah,
to.
Well, then,
I think there is.
there never was before. I was on Trails Committee for about 10, 11 years and we never had to pay anything.
Well, tell them that when you talk to them.
We want to think also about ordering some nifties that say Council on Aging and or Pleasant Street Center or something like that to
the big hit.
Handing out
list.
candy always works, but, and Nancy brought wonderful things. You had was it wristbands?
No, I didn't.
did?
Amy,
Amy did it.
Amy, they were, Carrie or somebody had
Okay.
them. I think they were Alzheimer's. And and the little kids loved them.
Yeah.
So they all went home to a house, so you got your.
At
PR
at
that
the
way.
next meeting, we should talk about something concrete because it will cost money and need to be
Do
ordered.
we, I'm gonna butt in. Do we wanna, we're hitting the 2 hour mark.
I know,
Let's get back on track here.
yes. Thank you, Nancy.
Nancy.
Yes.
Yeah, that was great.
Well, next one's real quick. Update on the Board of Health survey. I went to the Board of Health meeting last week. The Pear Associates or whatever the name is, a consultant group that's working with them, was basically asking the group for input on what studies and things should they be looking at to learn about Reading, and they put up a list of what they've been told about, and it did not include either of the studies that Reading has done about the needs assessment for seniors, so I provided the names of that, and they were asking for input on questions that they should ask, and I was putting in my 2 cents worth on that in terms of mobility issues and any other kinds of accessibility issues and what the town might be doing to make the town more inclusive. I intend to send them an email because I wasn't expecting to be asked questions and I was kind of doing 6 things, but I would like them to also ask about the degree to which loneliness is a problem. I really worry about isolation in the community, and it would be a great way to do that. But they're fact finding about our community at this point to figure out what they need to ask and what's already known. And then we're up to our last item, next COA steps regarding the senior center, community center. I think we actually outlined that earlier. It's to,
Can I make a motion?
yes.
Table that to the next.
Well, I think we already dealt with it.
Well, I don't know. I think.
We can talk about it again next
Yeah.
time.
I think next time you have more information.
Yeah, but we have one action item, which is, let's see if we can wrap up the video and get everybody to.
Yeah.
approve it.
Mhm.
I think that's a sufficient item for now. And with that, I think we're done.
Done.
2 hours, right on time. So we need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to we.
Motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
And who's seconding?
Karen, second.
There you go.
Second, okay, Debbie Small,
Yes, yes.
Joan Coco,
Yes.
Karen Patino,
Yes.
Karen Panett,
Yes.
Marilyn Shapley, yes, Karen Janowski,
Yes.
John Parsons,
Yes.
Sally Hoyt. You're muted, Sally.
I'm muted a second ago.
Yeah. Okay. You're unmuted now?
Yeah, you're unmuted. Do you vote yes to adjourn?
She said yes.
Okay, thank you. Sandy Schaefer
Yes. You just
and
say-
Nancy Twadros. All right, we are adjourned at 8:30.
And remember, I'm looking for a replacement secretary.
Okay.
Don't forget, everybody.
No, she's not.
I didn't hear anything.
Remember to vote tomorrow.
You're muted, Nancy.
What?
I said you're muted, Nancy.
Don't worry, I'm in the meeting. Nancy can't say anything else.
Oh, wait a minute.
And goodbye all.